When we started the Israel conference many years ago in 2009, our very first keynote was the wonderful Erel Margalit. And I'm so happy that our very first time here in Tel Aviv, our keynote is Erel Margalit. So with that, toda rabah, and I turn the stage to you.
Thank you so much. עברית, אנגלית, מה? איך? אנגלית? תמיד יש איזה אמריקאי אחד בקהל, והוא קובע לנו את הכל. Okay, so we'll do it in English mostly, but we'll switch to Hebrew, and that would be a good practice for you, all right? So, Sharona, thanks. You and Yossi Vardi have been an amazing ambassadors to Israel, and in a time where the world was beginning to listen to the Israeli technology on the West Coast in LA, not San Francisco, you guys were really giving us a stage, and we very much appreciate it, and thank you for being here. So, JVP, just in a few words, and by the way, this guy from Oracle, you know what's amazing about Oracle in the way that he made the presentation? This technology, that technology, but a company after so many years, did you see how hard this guy was selling? Great. I mean, that's what we want. He sounded like a hungry startup, and that's why they're succeeding. And I have a lot of appreciation for people like that. So I'm like a hungry startup myself. So, oops, מה עשיתי? יש? כאילו. בסדר. So JVP is a fund, לא נעים להגיד, that I started almost 30 years ago when the venture industry in Israel began to emerge. We started 160 companies. We had more than 40 of Israel's largest exits. Last year, we were chosen number 6 on the list of performance. I don't really know who the first 5 were, but I'll get to them. And we managed today 1.75 billion. And mostly VCs are 10%, 12% at the time of the exit. In JVP, we invest early and we invest again. So we are usually more than 40% of our companies at the time of the exit. In CyberArk, we were 47%, 5.5 billion. In ClickTech, we were 30%, 2.5 billion. In Cogent, we were 30%, 2.5 billion, and many more, Chromatis, and you remember all these companies, and we're very proud of our companies. The JVP way is working in centers of excellence. I was in the Knesset, אל תכעסו עליי על זה, but my vision was to bring innovation not just to Tel Aviv, which I love, but also to Jerusalem, to the Galilee, to Be'er Sheva, to different parts of Israel. And today, when we talk about different industries and AI and how they affect things, you'll see why technology can change this country in more than one way. And we say that if innovation can change a country like Israel, perhaps it could save the planet as well, because the planet needs saving. So we started in Jerusalem. A lot of you look at Jerusalem as a holy city, that ultra-Orthodox are there, some Arab guys, some crazy people that believe in God. Well, Jerusalem is also a city that in the last 20 years, we created 30,000 technology jobs. And I know that in the Knesset, you look at the ultra-Orthodox and you think of strife and fighting and confrontation. But you should know that 34% of the women that are working in the high-tech sector in Jerusalem are ultra-Orthodox. So one of the things that I wanted to say, and the Arab community, big part of the involvement of the technology world today. Not enough, but major strides forward. So the Knesset is a place where you have different communities that clash against each other. Technology is a place where we bring these communities to work together, and we try that this will become the message of the country, even though right now it doesn't look very promising. But you should think of Aliyah to Israel, yes. And in Jerusalem, just as an example, one of the companies, you know, we invested in the media space as well, and AnyClip, which has tens and tens of millions of dollars of revenues today, is using the search technology that you have on text in so many other companies on video and generative AI in terms of letting video come into the enterprise just like text is in the enterprise today. Because today, inside the organization, whether it's sales or training, or whether you buy something on Best Buy and you come home and you want to use the manual, text is no longer the standard. Really, video is, but you need the AI to join forces with the video in order to be relevant, so that if you had 6-hour sales call and the sales manager wants to see how the meeting went, you can come to the 30 seconds that are the key 30 seconds that you would need in order to understand what went on. Be'er Sheva. Be'er Sheva was a city that you stopped on the way to Miluim, and maybe had some ice cream in Montana, and you had a great university there. Well, in the last 10 years, there's 5,500 cybersecurity engineers in Be'er Sheva. The university, B'zchut Rubik Danilovich, the mayor, ובזכות Rivka Karmi, the head of the university. אבישי ברוורמן לפני כן, נכון. הוא היה במפלגת העבודה, אבל הוא בסדר. לא כולם, בסדר, אני צוחק. And the university went from 18,000 students to 35,000 students. And a lot of them are in the most interesting areas. And companies like Oracle, and companies like Dell, EMC, before that, Orna Berry, האגדית שהגיעה לשם, PayPal, Leidos, a lot of these companies bought some of our companies, created a center of excellence. We had an agreement with the government that they would move their technology units by 2014. Well, maybe it will come in 2024, which for a government is not so bad, only 10 years late. But there's today, JVP, we created about 20 companies in Be'er Sheva. My partner, Yoav Tzuria, my partner, Gadi Tirosh, Pnina Ben Ami, who is standing here, and Dvora, who's part of JVP, they all brought so many companies and ideas and investment to Be'er Sheva. And some of the best companies in cybersecurity in the world today are actually from Be'er Sheva. לא נעים, אבל זה המצב. So we're very proud, and it's really a testament of what can be done. And Tetere, which is one of the main cyber companies that we're investing in now, that moved in the last year, quadrupled its sales, is really using AI for cross-border payments and anti-money laundering. Because when you're a bank and you receive and you look at the database of your own bank, you could use rule-based systems. NICE systems, Akamai, not Akamai, איך קוראים לחברה של בנט? Actimize. These companies are great. But the thing is that when you receive information from another bank, you don't know what's going on. They can burn you. You don't know the customer. You need to be able to guess intelligently. And what Tetere is doing, you know SWIFT? SWIFT is transferring money. But SWIFT has no idea about the security or the identity of the person who's trying to send money from South Africa to Santander, a bank in London or in Spain. Well, what Tetere can do is it can guess whether you're kosher or not. It's like a kosher thing. And we're so hospitable in Israel. So the בקיצור, זה מצחיק, זה כמו איזה מערכון כזה. The idea is that we're creating today a highway for the good guys that is able to identify the bad guys who are trying to do money laundering, human trafficking, drug trafficking, or even terror financing, but primarily by giving a highway to the good guys. And that's where AI is needed, where you don't have the information about the core systems of your bank and the database, but you have other bank and you need to identify patterns. You need to guess intelligently on who's kosher and who's not. And then the Galilee. תקשיבו, אני עושה את זה בעברית, בסדר? בגליל אתם לא מאמינים מה קורה. אנחנו באנו לשם לפני איזה 8 שנים. והאמת היא שהגליל רצה לעשות משהו גדול כמו באר שבע. ובא אליי בקריית שמונה ואמרו לי, בוא נעשה סייבר בקריית שמונה. ואמרתי להם, בחייאת דינה, כאילו, מה לכם ולסייבר בקריית שמונה? אתם העיר הכי ענייה בארץ, יש לכם 167 מיליון שקל דפיציט. אין לי מושג, אני מוכן לתרום, אבל אני לא יודע מה לעשות. סייבר לא עושים פה. אז אומרים, אז מה כן נעשה? וזה חבר'ה צעירים מדליקים בגליל. אז פתחנו את הדיון, ויש פה כמה אנשים שבאו איתי לגליל ועזרו לנו בזה, לדיון. מה הרעיונות שלכם? עכשיו, ראשי הרשויות, היה להם רעיונות ככה. אבל מי שהיה לו רעיונות טובים זה לילדים שלהם. ואז הם באו ואמרו, תשמע, בוא תבקר פה, יש לנו אחלה חקלאות, כי ליד קריית שמונה יש 28 קיבוצים, שרמת החקלאות שלהם ומושבים היא לא תאומן. כאילו עושים שם דברים מעולם אחר. היישובים הדרוזים עושים חקלאות אחרת מדהימה. אתם יודעים שבסוריה, שקונים משהו בלדי, זה סורי. הסורים, כמה שיש להם מלחמות וזה, מלחמת אזרחים, הם אלופי העולם בחקלאות. שאתה צריך גפן או תאנה, אתה הולך לסוריה. אולי לפעמים ללבנון. מה שאנחנו עושים בגליל היום, הגליל הוא מרכז העולמי של הפודטק, היה לכם היום ועידה, נכון? כן. כן, הוא בכלל עושה חברה לדיגיטליזציה של טעמים. שאם יש לכם איזה משהו מדהים לאכול, אתם יכולים לשחזר את זה באופן דיגיטלי. בקיצור, נכון? כוכב, וזה כבר החברה השנייה שלו. בקיצור, בגליל היום יש איזה 70 סטארט-אפים בתחום הפודטק, וחבר'ה צעירים מהקיבוצניקים מקריית שמונה, מכל האזור, אתם חייבים לבוא לבקר. זה במרכז העיר קריית שמונה, יש שם מלא חבר'ה, ועושים שם דבר ענק, שברמת הקליימט הוא יציל את העולם. כי היום אנחנו שוחטים 50 מיליארד פרות, ו-alternative protein, new agriculture, all these things will come in a different way from different regions, and the Galilee is leading it. This I'm saying for you, so you can carry the message. And there's a company there called Green Eye, של כמה חבר'ה יוצאי שלדג, שבעצם המציאו, זה דוגמה, המציאו מצלמה ו-AI שאתה שם על המרססים בשדה. עכשיו, אתה לוקח את המרסס, והמצלמה שהטרקטור נוסע 25 קילומטר בשעה, הוא יכול להבדיל בין מה שעשב ומה שהגידול. ואז כמו בסרט מפגשים מהסוג השלישי, אתם זוכרים שיש כזה, מוזיקה כזאת, אז זה רק שם ספרי של כימיקלים רק על העשב, לא על הגידול. וזה חוסך 90% מהכימיקלים בריסוס של השדה. עכשיו, זה לא משהו ארטילאי, זה משהו שבעצם החקלאי, הריסוס זה הדבר שעולה לו הכי הרבה כסף, אז זה חוסך לו כסף מחר בבוקר. והחבר'ה האלה עכשיו נמצאים אי שם בקנזס, whatever, והם כבר מוכרים איזה 25 מערכות על מה שנקרא מרססים נורמליים, והם עושים מהפכה אדירה, מהגליל לעולם. והמשקיעים הגדולים שלנו, אתם יודעים מי זה? זה סינג'נטה, שהיא חברת הכימיקלים הכי מזיקה אולי אחת בעולם, אבל היא רוצה להיות חברת דאטה, וקוך, הקוק בראדרס, אתם יודעים גם כן, אלה שעשו עליהם סרטים, אז אנחנו מנסים להחזיר בתשובה את החברות הגדולות ביותר של הכימיקלים, והקיבוצניקים האלה מצליחים לעשות את זה. תל אביב יש לנו את מרכז הפינטק, שם יש לנו כמה חברות, אבל ארניקס היא אחת מהן, חברה שכבר בסדר גודל של $100 מיליון מחירות, וזאת חברה שמביאה לכל עולם הביטוח ועולם הבנקאות, מעבר לדאטאבייסים הקיימים על כל אחד מהלקוחות, היא מביאה dynamic pricing, rating, כי היום יש עלינו המון מידע שמסתובב ברשתות, שחייבים להכניס לתוך השקלול, שאם אנחנו רוצים לתת הלוואה או לא רוצים לתת הלוואה, או רוצים לתת פוליסה או לא, וזה תענוג לראות חברות שמגיעות 200 מיליון דולר מחירות, ומגיעות להיות חברות גדולות, ואני שמח להגיד שגם שמה, כמו בסייבר, יש לנו 47%, אנחנו אוהבים את המספר 47, זה שנה לפני 48. וזה חיפה. בחיפה בעצם אנחנו עושים רפואה דיגיטלית ברובע הנמל, בעיר התחתית, יחד עם פיליפס וקופת חולים, שזה ה-HMO הכי מתקדם היום בעולם. קופת חולים, כן, אל תסתכלו עליהם ככה, מדהימים, וכמה שחקנים אחרים. ומשם, מחיפה, מהטכניון, יצאה לנו חברה קטנה שמשתמשת ב-AI לנושא של שינה של תינוקות. חברת ננית, שבעצם מגיעה השנה ל-102 מיליון דולר מחירות. לפעמים אתה עושה משהו טוב, ולא בכוונה יוצא לך משהו טוב בחזרה. אני כשיצאתי מהפוליטיקה, אני הייתי חייב למצוא חברות של שינה. אתה בן אדם עייף. הפוליטיקה, חלק מכל הבלגן שקורה שם, שאנשים לא ישנים. ובעצם הטכניון הוא מעצמה עולמית לשינה. ואני, החברה שאני בחרתי זה שינה של ילדים. והחברה הזאת הגיעה עכשיו ל-700,000 בתי אב בארצות הברית. התחילו אותה כמה גברים בחיפה, מנהלות אותה כמה נשים בניו יורק, ובעצם עושות מהפכה. AI is the way that you grow your kids, and the health of the family of your and the family is computer vision and AI. What it does is I'm doing it for you because you may need to buy it, and these guys are Israelis. I'm not sure they're going to buy the product. You have a camera over the baby. You have a pajama which shows if the baby breathes. You have a sheet that shows how tall the baby is. You don't need to go to Tipat Chalab. You guys don't have that in the US, but here it's very strong. And you basically have all the statistics about the baby's sleep and wellness and development. So if the baby, for example, only turns to the left and doesn't turn to the right, אז אתה אומר הוא קונטרה לביבי. Or you can detect early issues or challenges that you have, and now we have some new cameras that are going from the crib to the nursery, so you can actually see the baby walk, the baby talk. I have כאילו יש לי נכד בן 7 חודשים והוא כבר עומד כמעט, וזה מדהים. אז אתה יכול להסתכל על זה. התחלתי מוקדם. And so it's really amazing, and this is an example how AI and digital health and computer vision can make a revolution in a big way. This is our center in New York, in Soho, Broadway, Grand Crosby. We have a building there. We won the cyber tender for the city of New York. בזכות באר שבע. We won the cyber tender. We started with 8 companies 2 years ago. We now have 38 scale-up companies in New York. We have, a lot of it is with the leading Israeli companies. So if you need a place in New York with good recruiters, good customers, great Brazilian cafe, some nice music, and a great atmosphere, you know where to come. We have Columbia, Cornell, NYU, and CUNY as our partners, the city of New York. And right now, we just launched a major additional center there on the other side of the building. With Mini of BMW, we've launched a climate tech initiative as well. And we're looking for amazing companies that can also be relevant for climate, but in a way that's new and interesting. AI and climate will work together. Climate will be related to fintech, because most of the platforms that will change the world from a climate trading standpoint of the CO2 will be fintech companies. So those of you who are focused on that area should open your minds to see how effect you can have on the climate. The same thing with insurtech. Insurance companies are not able to insure people in places like Australia or Florida or some other places where you have floods, you have fires, you have different aspects that today insurance companies can either disengage from their customers or find new models to understand what's going on. And you need the AI models for disaster, for areas that have disasters, just like you need them for regular areas as well. And so today, fintech and climate is a big theme for us that we're looking at, and we're calling Israeli companies to participate in this major initiative. Today, InsurTech and climate, huge issue. We have IAG from Australia as our partner, Munich Re, AXA, Tokyo Marine, some of the leading insurance companies. Everybody needs new ideas. They need AI and technology in order to understand their customers a little better. And then cyber and climate. You know, the cyber engineers in Israel, which know how to attack a grid, how to protect the grid, and understand the holistic sense of the grid, could also understand how to regulate the grid from an energy standpoint. So people who have the cyber discipline are very helpful to some of the biggest AI and climate initiatives that are needed. And then, of course, food tech. Food alone will change the climate in more ways than transportation would. The way we eat will have a bigger effect on the climate that we can imagine. And in the next 10 years, food as we know it today will change. Agriculture as we know it today will change. It needs to be tasty, it needs to be good, otherwise people are spoiled. But if we don't change it, we should just go and pick a few other planets for the cows that we're feeding in the agriculture today, because it's not people that we're feeding anymore, it's animals, and they eat a lot more than we do. And healthcare and as well, I'm not going to get into this. Cities, just one thing that Pnina promised that I'd say. We have a world tour with Mini and BMW. We have our next big event in Jerusalem. איפה? ברור, בירושלים. ב-12 ליוני עם ראשי BMW ומיני בירושלים. And we're doing a call for proposals for climate technology companies that could be part of our cohort in New York. And we're inviting many of you to come and join. And then we have it in a few other places around the world. So guys, it's a difficult time in Israel now, but people that are making a difference, among others, are the ones that are sitting here. And we need to understand that in order to ensure a society which continues to breed some of the best ideas, an open society, the struggle for the values is just as important as the struggle for the innovation. And working hand in hand, we're actually giving ourselves the kind of optimism that we need to go back to our kids ולהגיד להם, חבר'ה, יהיה בסדר, המדינה הזאת לא הולכת פייפת. תודה.
Ariel, thank you so much for giving us a very big perspective, and I want to give you something as well.
Okay.
This is for you, but I want the Kahal to see. This is a cartoon, since you were involved in politics,
Yes.
and it's a very famous cartoon character that if you don't know who it is, you should study it. It's Dosh. That's right. And it always poked fun at the cultural anomalies here in Israel when Israel first started. And I thought that, Ariel, that part of what you do is you get things started and you grow them big. And Israel has grown very big, and it got started by little guys like this poking fun at behavior, and from that grew a really stable and phenomenal society. And Ariel, thank you so much for your words.
תודה רבה. תודה.